How much sugar do you think is in this drink? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, oh boy, 25, 26, 30, 31, 32, 33 sugar cubes in one drink. That's how much sugar you're getting just by drinking 1 cup of coffee. You all know this little beast. A little sugar dose for a hamster fits in your palm under 5 grams. This 1 cup could kill a hamster almost 30 times over. No, this isn't some underground lab brew. It's a regular medium caramel cream frozen coffee from Dunkin. You probably grabbed one on your way to work many times without a second thought, but inside hides 132 grams of sugar. For context, the FDA recommends 50 grams of added sugar per day on a 2,000-calorie diet. This cup blows past that by more than double. But look at it again, it looks like coffee. Cup, lid, straw, all normal. But think about this. When you add sugar to tea yourself, you see every spoonful. Here it's all dissolved for you. Then they toss in syrup, foam and plop cream on top for good measure. So your coffee drink is now a dessert and you never even notice. It's all so convenient. Just sip, no plate, the word dessert never even appears. And here is where it gets really interesting. Today we'll find out how soda became a bucket-sized dessert, who figured out how to calculate the perfect sweetness, whether sugar is really more addictive than who spent decades helping it look harmless, and why Fanta in the US is almost 3 times sweeter than the British version. This is the investigation you've been waiting for. Quick game. Here's the Crumbl menu. Find the dessert drink section. Can't find it? Because it doesn't exist. There is just dirty soda. The base is regular soda. Then they add syrup, cream, fruit puree, sometimes even an energy drink. You can even pick your own combo, a sweet, build your own kit. Crumbl has over 40 combinations. Take their crazy cousins: Red Bull, Sprite, pineapple, strawberry puree, and coconut cream. Just from the ingredients, you know this isn't just soda anymore. Crumbl doesn't publish exact nutrition facts for this combo, so we won't make up a number, but you can do your own math. What's more fascinating is the idea itself. 2 sugar drinks from the base, then puree and cream go on top, and it all sells as 1 cup you build yourself. But here's the crazy part, how fast this idea spread to the big chains. On April 29, 2026, Dunkin launched its own dirty soda nationwide: Pepsi, coffee milk, and sweet cold foam. A week later, on May 6, McDonald's rolled out 6 new specialty drinks nationwide. Among them, Sprite Berry Blast with blue raspberry syrup and cold foam, and Orange Dream built on high seed with vanilla and the same foam. Look at those dates, 7 days apart. And you know how McDonald's is selling it? Their official release calls the drink a ritual, a mood, even an accessory. They even made special cup carrier bags for the launch. So they're not just selling flavor anymore. The cup has to look good on camera, your story next to your phone on the table. Soda is now part of your image, and that image, you know, must be flashy. That's the real power of these drinks. You're not only buying a giant pile of sugar, you're buying a tiny event in the middle of an ordinary day. Sounds a lot nicer, right? Now let's look at coffee. I personally love this stuff, but what I discovered shocked me. Frappuccino wasn't invented at Starbucks. It came from a Boston chain called the Coffee Connection. Starbucks bought the chain and the name in 1994. Then they launched the drink in summer of '95 with 2 flavors: coffee and mocha. Now I want one. Sales hit $52 million in year 1. Why so fast, you ask? It was a convenient dessert on the go, and Starbucks didn't stop there. In 1996, a bottled version hit stores. Then new syrups, seasonal flavors, dozens of add-ons. By 2011, Frappuccino was pulling in about $2 billion a year. Configure. Now let's check the modern menu. A grande caramel ribbon crunch frappuccino, 60 grams of sugar. And don't forget the medium caramel cream frozen coffee from Dunkin at 132 grams. The word coffee is still in there somewhere, but by ingredients, it's a full dessert you just happen to sip through a straw. The menu board never says liquid cake gives you energy, though that would be honest and rather funny. So what's going on here? Are chains just eyeballing sweetness? Actually no. Sometimes thousands of people work on one flavor. Why would a company make 61 versions of one Dr. Pepper to find the tastiest one? In 2004, Cadbury Schweppes brought in Howard Moskowitz. He studied how people perceive taste, smell, and texture in food. That science is called psychophysics. Moving on. When the team was working on Cherry Vanilla Dr. Pepper, they made 61 formulas, 31 regular and 30 diet, then ran 3,904 taste tests across 4 cities. A bit more cherry, a bit less vanilla, different sweetness levels. After every test, they built graphs, looking for the point where people liked the drink most. Moskowitz called it the bliss point. Here's the story. Too sweet, you won't finish it. Too bland, you won't buy it again. So the company has for that sweet spot where you reach for the next sip without the thought. That's it. No magic. Only about 3,900 attempts to figure out exactly where you'd say, oh, this is good. Tasters even rested between sips, so their taste buds could reset. We pick a drink in 20 seconds, while its flavor might have taken months to perfect. Kind of an impressive scale of work, right? But have you ever heard the story that sugar is more addictive than cocaine? In 2007, a study came out with a bold title. Intense sweetness surpasses cocaine reward. Rats were given a choice between water sweetened with a 0-calorie artificial sweetener. About 94% of the rats picked the sweet option. A similar study with plain sugar water got the same result. Sounds terrifying, but it's a lot more modest than that. It's a rat study run under specific lab conditions. It doesn't prove humans are more addicted to sugar than human studies don't back that up. However, a sweet taste really does light up the brain's reward system. And when a drink is perfectly dialed in for flavor, stopping at one sip is almost impossible. Which raises another question. How did sugar fly under radar for so long? Here's where it gets truly fascinating. But first, one quick thing. I put out a video every single week, and honestly, growth could be better. What keeps me going is literally your likes on every video. So if you're genuinely enjoying this, hit like, drop a comment, subscribe, it helps a ton. My goal is to help you see the real truth in this fast-changing world. Now, let's keep going. 1965, scientists are arguing over what's more tied to heart disease, fat or sugar. The sugar industry decides not to sit this one out. Its interests back then were represented by the Sugar Research Foundation. The foundation launched Project 226. It pays a Harvard team $6,500 to review existing research on diet and heart disease. Just so it's clear, a review is not a new experiment. The authors pick existing studies, compare them, and draw a conclusion. In 1967, a piece runs in the New England Journal of Medicine. The authors shift the focus from sugar to saturated fat and cholesterol. Readers weren't told who paid for this review. Worse, internal letters showed the foundation sent materials, reviewed drafts, and discussed the outcome with the authors. Those documents only came up in 2016. Nearly 50 years later. By then, millions had already settled into a simple picture. Fat is suspicious, sugar is an afterthought. Quick note, only one paper didn't clear sugar for 50 years, and it didn't make fat the only villain either. Science doesn't work that way. But think about it, an industry funds a review of its own product, helps shape the report, and readers never know. That's why this story matters. It shows you can shift not the recipe but the very question people ask. While everyone argued about that, sugar quietly stayed in our drinks, and gradually there was more and more of it. But the most interesting part of this whole picture starts in Europe. There, the same companies suddenly know how to make drinks a lot less sweet. Look here, on the left, American Fanta Orange, a 20-ounce bottle, 73 grams of sugar. On the right, the British version, same size, about 27 grams, same brand, almost triple the difference. See that? Why? Since 2018, the UK has had the soft drinks industry levy. Basically, if a company puts more than a specified amount of sugar in a drink, it pays an extra tax. You could keep the old recipe and just pay up, but manufacturers count every penny, so it's usually cheaper to cut the sugar. And it worked. According to UK government data, average sugar content in drinks covered by the rules dropped by about 29% between 2015 and 2018. Soda wasn't banned there. Manufacturers were simply given a financial incentive to make it less sweet. Starting in 2026, the threshold drops even more, and the rules expand to cover many packaged milk-based drink too. Yeah, that coffee dessert from the intro is slowly coming into view. Meanwhile, in the US, your main tool is the label. So we Here's a 10-second checklist. 1. Find added sugars. 2. Check the daily value percentage. The FDA calls 5% or less low. 20% or more is high. 3. Check the serving size. Sometimes the numbers aren't for the whole bottle. American Fanta Orange has 73 grams of added sugar and 143% of the daily value in one bottle. No math required there. But why doesn't the US just sell the British version by default? Because companies tailor recipes to whatever the market demands. In Britain, lots of sugar costs the manufacturer money. In the US, there is no nationwide sugar tax like that yet. So back to those 33 cubes. All that sweetness isn't an accident, and it isn't a barista's mistake. It's tested, packaged beautifully, turned into a habit, and adjusted to fit each country's laws. After this video, that cup doesn't look so innocent anymore. Now we know where to look and where the pretty name ends and the numbers begin. But here's the thing, sugar is just one ingredient. What we are actually eating these days should really make you think. In this video, I broke down how the same products can hide different dyes, additives, and even entire recipes depending on the country. Watch that one next. After it, you'll definitely start flipping packages over before tossing them in your cart. See you there and take care of yourselves. Watch the numbers, not just the pretty cup. Let your choices always be yours, not something already calculated in someone's lab.